welcome back to A Life of Words. So this isn't the video that I had planned to record today, but as I was preparing to record and also catching up in my own journaling, I noticed that I had two of my journals that I'm using at the moment out, and I thought I might as well record an extra video to show you the journals that I'm currently using and how I use them. So the first journal that I have is my phone. My notes app is full of the inner workings of my mind, things I don't want to forget, memories, all sorts. But I also use it as a form of journal. If I don't want to get up and particularly get my journal or my pen, or it's too late or it's inconvenient, I just take to my phone and I'll use the notes app or I will use the recorder and just jot down the things that are the thoughts that are in my mind. I have a lot of thoughts and often they escape me if I don't get them down in the moment. So if nothing else, I will use that. I will use the voice recorder when I'm driving, if I'm in the car, if I'm on a walk, if it's not, convenient for me to have a pen and paper out. And I'll use it as a form of stream of consciousness type journaling, I guess, and verbal processing. And I find it really, really useful. I will link to a blog post on my website that shows you more ways that you can use your phone in journaling, because as much as some people say, oh, you shouldn't have your phone, it should be with a pen and paper, and I know the merits of that. I also know the world we live in, and I actually think it can be a useful tool when used in the right way. Next up, I've got my 5-year journal, which is my 5-year story. This is my second one of these. This one was actually a gift from a friend, and I really like these because they don't ask too much of you. There's space for just a few lines a day. It doesn't feel like that big of an ask to do. If you're a particular person who likes to not break a streak, then this might be a good form of journaling. I like that it asks you to show up every day for just 3 or 4 lines, so that it can help you get into a habit. So if you're also trying to get into a journaling habit, this could be a good one for you. I really value these 5-year journals because I remember when I had to make a very big life decision and I felt quite stuck. And it was actually this journal type that came to my rescue, or that really helped me at the time. Because what I noticed is that as I was going through the journal each time, and I would come around to the same day the following year, I would see the things that I had written. And with the particular thing that I was thinking about, it was challenging and quite confronting to think, do I want this date next year to come around and to still be in the same place, or to have not taken action and not made a decision? And so, journaling in this way, when you are confronted with the hard evidence that you can't refute, written in your own handwriting, of what's going on as the years go by, can be so galvanizing and really, really interesting, because we live moment to moment, and sometimes the years can trick and deceive us. But you can say, oh, it's only been a year since then. And with this journal, you can say, oh no, it wasn't a year ago, it was 3 years ago. um and do I still want to be here come the 4th year? So a 5-year journal can be really useful if you don't know where to start with journaling and find a blank page quite intimidating, because the prompts from the years previous, or the entries from the years previous, can then serve as prompts for you in the years to come. And you can see, what's changed since then, what hasn't changed, what do I want to change. The one thing I will say about a 5-year journal, and maybe any journal, but in particular this one, is to make sure that you keep it in a prominent place where you do life, somewhere where you will see it every day. Because if you put it away on a shelf, which I have done, you will find yourself trying to backfill based on your memory, and that's not really what it's meant for. So yeah, have it somewhere where you're going to see it, and where you can get it done, because it's a really useful tool, this one. The next journal that I have is my car or travel journal. And I keep this in my handbag or in my car, and I take it on short little weekend trips a lot of the time because it's more portable. I like it for those unexpected moments when I happen to be in a coffee shop and I have some time, or I have to get a train, or I just have lots on my mind and I can't wait until I get home, which is where I keep my main journal. And this can be really useful. I really like the idea of a travel journal or a little pocket journal that you keep with you because I don't reach for it every day. And because I only reach for it every couple of weeks, it's one of the few journals that I have that I actively read back because there's fewer entries and longer periods of time between me writing in it. And it's really interesting to note what has changed since I last opened the pages. The only thing with having a travel journal is to make sure that you keep it in your bag or in your car or somewhere that you frequent all the time, because otherwise, like me, you can end up buying a new one each time because you haven't kept it in a helpful place. And the other thing I would say is to make sure you have a couple of pens in your bag, backpack, pocket, jacket, or in the glove compartment in my case. Next up, we have my creative journal, and I love this journal. I haven't actually reached for it as often as I thought I would, but I don't think that's the journal's fault. I think that's down to a few other variables. This is the Hello Time Journal Planner, and I love it because it feels like it was designed by someone who gets how my brain works. There are undated monthly and weekly planning sections. And I like that because when I'm not consistent, which is a word that I struggle with, you can kind of just pick up on the next pages rather than letting loads go by because it doesn't match what has been printed there. There are encouraging words and it's structured, but not too structured. And I like that there are spaces throughout and in the back for doodles, diagrams, notes, and my personal favorite, 2 a.m. thoughts. This is my everyday journal that I don't reach for every day, but that I reach for most often. I tend to notice that with my everyday journals, I try to go for something that is hardback rather than a softback, flexible thing because I never know where I'm going to be or where I'm going to take it. And I always want to make sure that I've got a sturdy surface to be able to write against. I tend to go these days for something that's a little bit bigger than what might be considered average. It's just my preference, really. This is actually from Paper Chase, and prior to this, I have them here. Uh, so this was the last one that I used, but prior to this, I used the 365 journals from Kiki K. Um, Kiki K stopped delivering to the UK for a period of time, and in that time, I discovered these journals from Paper Chase, and I really preferred the size. But now Paper Chase has gone into administration. So I'm going to need to find something else for the next one. As much as I have different journals for different things, in my everyday main journal, anything goes. So it can be life, prompts, morning pages, creative ideas, the notes that I take from the journaling workshops that I run or the ones that I attend, dreams, just random thoughts, bits of conversation, anything goes there. I regard the plain pages as a freedom space. I get to decide what goes where and how much space it takes up. But that's just my preference. The thing I love with journaling is that you can make it whatever you want or need it to be, and it is completely on your call. So that's it. That's how I get the 600 million thoughts that go through my head out onto various different pages. I hope that was an insightful and useful demonstration of how, in the everyday, I organize and congregate and just get my thoughts out of my head. I would love to know how you journal, if you choose to use a pen and paper or use your phone, record, do voice journaling, or you do something else digital. Please do let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I will be back with more journaling prompts, inspiration, and places to make it happen. Until then, happy journaling, and I'll see you in the next one.